Welcome to Stoic Inner Power. Today we embark on a profound journey to discover 10 ancient practices that will completely transform your life. Waking up early is the first true test of the day. Who is really in charge? Your discipline or your inherent laziness? Winning the morning is a powerful statement. It is your ultimate affirmation of mastery over your own life and your daily choices. When you conquer the comfort of your bed, you set a strong, unbreakable tone for every single challenge that will follow today. The battle against the snooze button is not trivial. It is the very foundation where your inner fortitude is forged and tested. Embrace the initial discomfort. That shock of cold water is a physical reminder that you are awake, alive, and ready to fight. In these quiet moments before the world demands your attention, you build a fortress of calm that nothing can easily breach later. Prepare your mind carefully. The early hours are a sacred space where intention meets action, far away from the noise of society. Every word written, every breath taken in the early morning is a deliberate step towards becoming the absolute master of your destiny. Do not let the softness of the mattress dictate your potential. Rise with purpose and command the trajectory of your entire day. This is the Stoic way. We do not wait for inspiration to strike. We cultivate discipline through consistent, unwavering daily morning actions. Now let us transition to the realm of deep work. This is where we separate superficial busyness from genuine, meaningful, lasting progress. In a world obsessed with constant distraction, the ability to focus deeply is a rare and incredibly valuable superpower you must develop. Silence the notifications. When you put away the endless scrolling, true competence is built in the quiet, uninterrupted spaces of intense cognitive effort. Time is your most precious, non-renewable resource. Do not squander it on shallow tasks that merely create the illusion of actual productivity. Approach your work like a master craftsman. Every detail matters, and your full attention is required to produce something truly exceptional. Deep work is not just about output, it is about rewiring your brain. You are literally forging new, stronger neural pathways of excellence. Eliminate the noise. When you sit down to create, build a fortress around your attention. Guard it fiercely against any external intrusion. The results of deep work compound over time. What starts as a difficult struggle soon becomes a state of effortless, productive flow. The satisfaction of completing a difficult task with your full attention is infinitely greater than the cheap dopamine of endless multitasking. Our third practice is the profound art of journaling. This is not mere record keeping. It is an active dialogue with your own soul. Use the blank page as a powerful tool to organize your chaotic thoughts. Untangle the mess in your head and find absolute clarity. Writing forces you to slow down. It separates your intense, fleeting emotions from the objective reality of the situation you are facing. By putting your fears and anxieties onto paper, you create a necessary distance. You become an objective observer rather than a blind reactor. Journaling is a mirror for your mind. It reveals your hidden biases, your recurring mistakes, and your true, unvarnished inner motivations clearly. Identify what is within your control and what is not. Write it down. This simple act instantly reduces anxiety and restores your power. Let the paper absorb your frustration. Do not carry the heavy weight of unexamined emotions in your mind. Release them completely here. Reviewing your past entries shows you how far you have come. It builds a solid foundation of self-awareness and quiet, enduring confidence. Make this a daily ritual. A few minutes of honest writing can save you hours of agonizing mental turmoil and unnecessary suffering. We now move to the physical realm. Physical training is not vanity. It is the essential maintenance of the mind's primary vehicle. Your body is the instrument of your mind. A highly disciplined, sharp mind can rarely flourish in a weak, neglected, or lethargic body. Physical exertion sends a powerful, undeniable message to your nervous system. I am in control. I choose strength over weakness and stagnation. It is not just about lifting weights. It is about mastering your physical form. Flexibility, endurance, and strength are all vital components. The calluses on your hands are physical proof of your resilience. They show that you willingly endure temporary pain for long-term growth. When you push past your perceived physical limits, You simultaneously shatter the mental barriers that hold you back in every other area. Embrace the burn. Let the elevated heart rate remind you that you are alive, capable, and entirely responsible for your own vitality. The peace that follows a grueling workout is profound. It is the quiet satisfaction of knowing you have conquered your own physical weakness. Next, we explore the practice of daily reading. Consider reading not as mere entertainment, but as the fundamental architecture of your character. Through books, you gain immediate access to decades, sometimes centuries, of hard-won wisdom from the greatest minds, absorbed in mere minutes. Do not just read to consume information. Read to challenge your deepest assumptions. Let the ideas wrestle with your current worldview relentlessly. Engage actively with the text. Underline, take notes, argue with the author in the margins. Make the ancient wisdom your own weapon. Well, the Stoics knew that a mind left to its own devices becomes weak. It must be sharpened daily against the whetstone of great literature. Read history to understand human nature. Read philosophy to understand yourself. Build a formidable mental fortress, brick by brick, page by page. Our sixth practice is deliberately doing difficult things. Continuous, unbroken comfort is a silent poison that slowly makes human beings incredibly weak. You must actively seek out discomfort. Voluntarily choose the harder path now to forge an armor against the inevitable adversities of life. Take a freezing cold shower. Fast for a day. Lift heavier weights. Teach your brain that you are capable of enduring severe discomfort. When you master the artificial hardships you create, the real tragedies and unexpected obstacles of life will not easily break your spirit. Voluntary hardship inoculates you against fear. And it destroys the fragile illusion that your happiness depends entirely on perfectly comfortable, easy external circumstances. The strength you forge in the fires of chosen adversity will become the unshakable foundation of your character when the real storms arrive. Practice number 7, seek profound stillness. True stillness is not merely the absence of external noise. It is supreme internal authority. It is the powerful ability to remain completely centered and fiercely calm, even when the entire world around you is descending into utter chaos. Stillness allows you to filter out the relentless, overwhelming stimuli of modern life. It gives you the crucial space to choose your reaction. Between the external stimulus and your response, there is a space. In that quiet space lies your ultimate freedom and your greatest power. Do not let external events drag you around like a puppet. Cultivate an inner sanctuary of silence that no one can ever disturb. When you are truly still, you stop reacting blindly based on raw emotion. You begin to act with deliberate, calculated, and powerful intention. The eighth practice is perhaps the most difficult. Take absolute, uncompromising responsibility for everything that happens in your life, without any exceptions. Stop blaming the economy, your upbringing, your boss, or bad luck. Blame is a toxic mechanism that instantly surrenders your personal power. You may not be responsible for the trauma or the hardship that happened to you, but you are entirely responsible for your healing. You are the sole author of your reactions. The moment you accept total responsibility, you immediately reclaim the steering wheel of your destiny. Be the lighthouse in your own life. Do not wait for a savior. Own your mistakes, own your flaws, and own your future. This radical ownership is terrifying at first, but ultimately, it is the most liberating and empowering philosophical shift you will ever make. Well, now we delve into an advanced Stoic technique, negative visualization. This is not pessimistic brooding, it is a highly strategic mental preparation. Deliberately imagine the worst-case scenarios. Picture losing your job, your home, or even the people you love most in this fragile world. Why do we do this? Not to invite despair, but to radically decrease our desperate, fragile dependence on specific, uncontrollable future outcomes. When you have already vividly experienced the absolute worst in your mind of the actual reality, whatever it brings is no longer paralyzingly terrifying. Simultaneously, this practice forces you to fiercely appreciate what you currently have right now, instead of foolishly taking your blessings for granted. You realize that everything is temporary. This profound awareness transforms mundane, everyday moments into incredibly precious, irreplaceable gifts to be cherished deeply. Our final practice is disciplined speech. In a noisy world, we often mistakenly believe that talking more equates to having more value. Stoicism teaches a different path. Speak less, speak accurately, and speak only with deliberate, carefully considered intention. Words are powerful. Use them wisely. Avoid speaking merely to inflate your ego or to show off. Shift your paradigm. Speak only when your words genuinely create real value. Ruthlessly eliminate useless complaining and toxic, baseless judgment from your vocabulary entirely. These habits drain your energy and severely damage your character. Before you let a single word escape your lips, pause and ask yourself this critical question. Is this statement actually truly necessary? If it is not necessary, let silence do the heavy lifting. A disciplined tongue is the unmistakable hallmark of a highly disciplined mind. These 10 practices are not quick fixes. They are the heavy, but foundational stones upon which you will build an absolutely impenetrable inner fortress. They require relentless daily effort, unwavering commitment, and the courage to face your own deepest weaknesses honestly and without any comforting illusions. But the reward is immense. You transform from a fragile victim of circumstance into the undisputed, powerful architect of your own unshakable destiny. You develop a core of stoic inner power that no external storm, no tragedy, and no hardship can ever hope to shatter. Start today. Choose one practice. Master it. Then add another. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single deliberate step. Thank you for walking this path with us. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and continue to cultivate your stoic inner power every single day. Remember, the hardest environments often forge the strongest roots. While your current struggles are merely the fertile soil for your future unshakable strength, every single morning offers a completely blank canvas. It is a profound opportunity to rebuild your character and redefine who you truly are. You are both the sculptor and the marble. The blows of discipline may hurt, but they are absolutely necessary to reveal the masterpiece. Through relentless repetition and unwavering focus, you temper your mind. You forge an intellect sharp enough to cut through any life illusion. The ultimate battle is never with the external enemy. The true war is fought entirely within the silent, hidden confines of your own mind. Master your internal state, and the external world loses its power over you. You become an immovable mountain amidst a raging, chaotic storm. Freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. True freedom is the profound discipline to do exactly what you know you must. It is the power to direct your attention and energy with lethal precision, ignoring the thousands of trivial distractions constantly begging for your time. Embrace the changing seasons of life. The Stoic understands that nothing is permanent. Joy and sorrow both come and go like passing autumn leaves. Do not cling desperately to the good times, and do not be utterly destroyed by the bad. Maintain your steady, unshakable center through it all. Be like water flowing over stones. When faced with an insurmountable obstacle, do not crash against it blindly. Simply adapt and flow around it. Flexibility is a form of immense strength. Rigid minds break under intense pressure, but a flexible, adaptable mind can survive and conquer any situation. Modern society is a relentless machine designed to steal your focus and harvest your attention. You must actively fight to reclaim your own mind. Step out of the chaotic current. Observe the frantic madness of the crowd from a distance, but refuse to be swept away by its panic. Thus, your sanctuary is not a physical place. It is the disciplined architecture of your own internal thoughts. Guard its gates with extreme, ruthless prejudice. Let the trivialities of the world burn away like incense smoke. Focus only on what is essential, virtuous, and entirely within your own control. Perfection is an illusion. The Stoic path is one of continuous, imperfect practice. You will fail, you will stumble, and you will make mistakes. What matters is not achieving flawless perfection, but possessing the relentless resilience to pick up the brush and simply begin again, without harsh self-judgment. Life will inevitably throw massive, terrifying storms your way. It is foolish to pray for an easy life. Instead, pray for the strength to endure. Be the captain of your soul. Hold the wheel steady when everything around you is collapsing. Your calm leadership is your ultimate defining weapon. Every storm eventually runs out of rain. When the skies finally clear, you will find yourself stronger, wiser, and more deeply rooted than before. The hardship you endure today is the exact price you must pay for the profound peace and unshakable confidence you will possess tomorrow. Return constantly to the foundational texts, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. Their words are not dead history. They are living, breathing, vital instruction manuals. Amor fati, love your fate. Do not merely accept what happens to you, actively embrace it. See every obstacle as raw fuel for your fire. A small fire is easily extinguished by a strong wind, but a blazing inferno consumes the wind, using it to burn even hotter and brighter. Become that inferno. Let every setback, every insult, and every failure be the exact wood that fuels your relentless drive toward ultimate excellence. Self-mastery is a grueling process of subtraction, not addition. You are chipping away the lazy, fearful, and undisciplined parts of your own nature. What remains after the painful chiseling is your true essential self. A being of pure purpose, clear vision, and absolutely terrifying, unyielding focus. The Stoic ideal is the warrior philosopher, capable of immense physical action, yet governed entirely by a calm, rational, and completely unshakable internal mind. Do not let your emotions dictate your actions. Feel them deeply, acknowledge their presence, but never let them sit in the driver's seat. Every single day presents 1,000 small choices. Will you choose the easy path of immediate comfort or the difficult path of lasting virtue? Consistently choose the hard path. Virtue is built in the crucible of difficult choices. Easy choices will inevitably lead to a remarkably hard life. Pay attention to the smallest details of your behavior. How you do anything is exactly how you will eventually do absolutely everything else. If you are sloppy in small tasks, you will be catastrophic in large ones. Cultivate a relentless standard of excellence in every single action. Treat your life as an Olympic discipline. You are in strict training for the ultimate event, the masterful execution of your own existence. When it is time to act, act with absolute, explosive commitment. Hesitation is the enemy. Doubt is a luxury you simply cannot afford. Patience is a core Stoic virtue. You must plant the seeds of discipline today, knowing fully well you may not see the harvest for years. Do not demand immediate results. Trust the process. Relentless consistency over a long period of time will eventually move massive, unyielding mountains. Your character is a tree. It grows slowly, invisibly, underground first. Only later does it reveal its massive strength to the outside world. The shade you eventually rest in is the direct result of the difficult, unglamorous work you did when no one else was watching you. When you encounter an obstacle that simply cannot be moved, do not exhaust yourself in futile anger. Recognize the absolute limit of your power. Accept what you cannot change instantly, then use your intelligence to find a completely different path forward. The obstacle becomes the new way. What once blocked your path has now elevated you, giving you a vastly superior vantage point and a completely new, clearer perspective. Fear is a natural biological response, but courage is a conscious, deliberate choice. You must learn to act forcefully despite the paralyzing presence of fear. Do not wait for fear to vanish. It never will. Step onto the bridge while your hands shake. Courage is action taken in the dark. Every time you face a fear head-on, you permanently shrink its power over you and exponentially expand the borders of your own freedom. In the digital age, outrage is a highly addictive drug. We are constantly provoked to react instantly, angrily, and without any deep thought. Resist this toxic urge. Refuse to be a puppet pulled by the strings of algorithms designed to farm your anger and steal your peace. Your attention is your life force. Do not give it away cheaply to online arguments that will be entirely forgotten by tomorrow morning. Channel your intense energy into creation, not destruction. Build something beautiful, learn a difficult skill, or improve your immediate physical environment. The best revenge against a chaotic, noisy world is simply to live a quiet, deeply purposeful, and incredibly productive life on your own terms. You are the clay on your own wheel. You must constantly shape, refine, and mold your character through deliberate, sometimes messy, daily practice. It requires patience, a gentle but firm touch, and the absolute willingness to completely destroy a flawed attempt and start over from scratch. The fire of adversity is what finally sets your character. Without the heat of struggle, you remain soft, or fragile and easily broken by life. Practice radical simplicity. We accumulate too many possessions, too many shallow obligations, and too many useless desires that only weigh us down. Strip away the excess. A cluttered physical environment often reflects a deeply cluttered, anxious mind. Find immense power in needing absolutely less. He who needs the least is truly the richest. When you stop desiring what you do not have, you instantly become invincible to manipulation. Swallow your pride. When you are wrong, admit it immediately and completely. A fragile ego will destroy your relationships and your inner peace. Humility is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength of a secure mind. It takes immense courage to look at your own flaws honestly. Forgive others freely, not because they necessarily deserve it, but because you absolutely deserve the peace that comes from letting go of bitter resentment. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. This is not a morbid thought, but the most powerful, clarifying truth of human existence. Keep the reality of your mortality constantly in mind. It acts as a brutal filter, instantly destroying procrastination and clarifying your true priorities. You could leave life right now. Let that profound fact determine exactly what you do, what you say, and what you choose to think. True Stoicism is not about isolated selfishness. It is about building a powerful, disciplined self so that you can be a profound service to others. Your strength is entirely useless if it is not used to lift up those who are weak. Compassion is the ultimate expression of true power. Do not just preach philosophy, embody it. Let your quiet, helpful actions be the loudest, most undeniable argument for the principles you claim to hold. Cultivate a deep, abiding connection with nature. It reminds you of the vast, intricate order of the universe, all of which you are a tiny part. When you feel overwhelmed by your personal problems, look up at the stars. Your anxieties shrink instantly when compared to the infinite, silent cosmos. You are a brief flash of consciousness in an eternal universe. Do not waste your precious, fleeting moment on petty grievances or cowardly fears. Constantly visualize your ideal, future self, the person who has mastered these practices, the person who remains perfectly calm while the world burns. Let that future, masterful version of yourself guide your decisions today. Act now exactly as that wise, unshakable person would act in this moment. Bridge the gap between who you are and who you are capable of becoming. It is the hardest work, but the only work that truly matters. Life is a complex game of strategy. Do not react emotionally to your opponent's moves. Anticipate them, stay calm, and execute your plan flawlessly. So mastery requires you to see several steps ahead. While others are blinded by immediate desires, you must remain focused entirely on the ultimate endgame. Win or lose, the game eventually ends. What truly matters is not the final score, but the strict honor and discipline with which you played. Transformation is inherently painful. You are destroying your old, comfortable, weak self to give birth to something vastly stronger and infinitely more capable. Do not curse the struggle. The intense pressure of the cocoon is exactly what forces the fluid into the wings, allowing you to eventually fly. Embrace the painful process of growth. The person you will become on the other side of this intense struggle will be entirely unrecognizable to you now. To find your true inner power, you must be willing to dive into the absolute darkest, most terrifying depths of your own subconscious mind. Face your deepest fears, your hidden shames, and your buried traumas. And only in that terrifying darkness will you discover the unbreakable pearl of your true strength. Bring that profound self-knowledge back to the surface. When you no longer hide from yourself, you become absolutely fearless in the face of the world. Let the chaotic noise of the world wash over you like a heavy waterfall, Feel its immense pressure, but refuse to be moved perfectly centered. True resilience is not about fighting the current. It is about anchoring yourself so deeply that the current simply breaks around your unshakable form. When you master your internal reactions, the external chaos loses its terrifying teeth. It becomes mere background noise to your powerful, focused, and deliberate existence. Life is a continuous balancing act. Lean too far into arrogant confidence, and you fall. Lean too far into paralyzing fear, and you freeze completely. The Stoic path is the razor's edge in the middle. It requires constant, active adjustments, profound self-awareness, and an absolute refusal to panic under extreme pressure. You do not need an audience to validate your discipline. The profound satisfaction of knowing you conquered your own mind is the only reward you require. In a world increasingly consumed by darkness, distraction, and despair, you must fiercely protect the sacred, burning flame of your own rational mind. Be the light in your own life. Do not wait for external circumstances to improve. Illuminate your own path through the darkness with unwavering, disciplined action. When you carry the light of Stoic reason, you begin to see the hidden truths of the universe that remain completely invisible to the reactive, panicked crowd. Your mind is a weapon. If left unsharpened, it becomes dull, rusty, and entirely useless when the inevitable battles of life finally arrive at your door. Sharpen your intellect daily through rigorous reading, brutal self-examination, and the deliberate pursuit of difficult, uncomfortable truths. Accept no comfortable lies. A sharp mind cuts cleanly through the illusions of fear, anxiety, and false desires. It sees reality exactly as it is, naked and unadorned. You are building a fortress of the mind. Every disciplined choice, every moment of resisted temptation is another heavy stone added to your impenetrable walls. Build it strong enough to withstand the heaviest artillery of fate. Sickness, loss, betrayal, these will inevitably strike your walls. You must be completely ready. When the storm rages outside, you remain perfectly safe, warm, and entirely undisturbed within the deeply fortified sanctuary of your own disciplined, rational mind. Your anxieties are like a massive knot of tangled ropes. Pulling blindly and reacting with frantic emotion only makes the knots tighter and vastly more difficult. You must approach your problems with cold, detached rationality. Examine the knots carefully. Find the logical thread and patiently untangle the mess step by step. Clarity is the ultimate result of disciplined thought. When you separate facts from your terrifying emotional interpretations, the overwhelming problems instantly become manageable tasks. The pursuit of virtue is grueling, unglamorous labor. It is swinging a heavy pickaxe in the dark, day after exhausting day, with no immediate, visible reward. But if you refuse to quit, if you keep striking the rock of your own terrible habits, you will eventually strike the pure, magnificent gold of profound self-mastery. That internal gold, your unshakable character, your profound integrity, your quiet peace is the only wealth in this world that absolutely no one can ever steal. Living a stoic life in a modern world obsessed with cheap pleasure and constant outrage is exactly like rowing a small boat fiercely against a violent river. You will face immense resistance. People will mock your discipline, while your own mind will violently beg you to quit and just float comfortably downstream with the dead. Never surrender to the current of mediocrity. Even if your tools break, even if you are entirely exhausted, you must keep fighting your way upstream toward excellence. Your life is a massive blank canvas. Every single action, every word, every thought is a brushstroke. You are the sole artist of your entire existence. Do not paint randomly based on fleeting emotions. Paint with deliberate, powerful intention. Create a life of profound virtue, immense courage, and unshakable, quiet strength. When you reach the end of your life and finally step back to look at the canvas, ensure it is a masterpiece you are fiercely proud to have created. Your mind is a fertile garden. If you do not actively cultivate it with discipline, toxic weeds of anxiety, fear, and bitter resentment will quickly take over entirely. Ruthlessly pull out negative thoughts by their roots. and do not let them fester. Then deliberately plant the seeds of gratitude, courage, and profound, unshakable rational thought. A beautifully cultivated mind produces a beautiful, powerful life. It requires daily, relentless maintenance. But the harvest is a state of absolute, unbreakable inner peace. Discipline is not a prison, it is the exact opposite. Discipline is the beautifully forged golden key that finally unlocks the door to your absolute, ultimate freedom. The undisciplined man is a miserable slave to his fleeting moods, his base appetites, and the chaotic, unpredictable circumstances of the external world. The disciplined man is the absolute master of his own kingdom. He walks boldly through the open door, entirely unafraid of whatever the future may hold. There will be long, brutal periods in your life where you feel like you are walking completely alone through an endless, scorching, and entirely unforgiving desert. You will be exhausted. Yeah, you will want to quit. This is the exact moment where your Stoic training is desperately needed to save your very soul. Keep moving forward. Rely entirely on your internal discipline when external motivation completely vanishes. The oasis of victory is always found just past the point of giving up. Take immense pride in the quiet, unseen work. The polishing of your character is exactly like the polishing of fine wood. It takes profound patience and relentless friction. Do not seek the loud applause of the ignorant crowd. Seek only the quiet, profound, and absolute approval of your own highly demanding, disciplined conscience. A character forged in the fires of Stoic discipline possesses a rare, undeniable gravity. It commands immediate respect without ever needing to say a single word. Society constantly pushes you toward weakness, comfort, and mindless consumption. Swimming against this massive, toxic cultural current requires absolutely terrifying, superhuman effort. But the reward for this brutal struggle is true individuality. You escape the herd of sheep and become a powerful, completely independent, and sovereign human being. You elevate yourself above the petty, chaotic anxieties of the masses. You achieve a state of profound psychological invulnerability that very few will ever truly understand. If you build your happiness on external things, money, status, or the unpredictable opinions of others, you are building a fragile house of cards in a hurricane. The slightest breeze of misfortune will utterly destroy your peace. The Stoic builds their happiness entirely on their own internal virtue and disciplined character. Build your foundation on solid rock. When fate inevitably blows its violent winds, your happiness will remain completely intact, fiercely protected by your unshakable inner power. Patience is a weapon. In a world that demands instant gratification, the ability to wait quietly and observe calmly is a massive, highly unfair advantage. Do not rush into action driven by anxiety or greed. Wait for the perfect moment. Let the foolish exhaust themselves while you conserve your immense energy. When you finally act, do so with devastating absolute precision. One perfectly timed, highly disciplined action is worth 1,000 frantic, panicked, and thoughtless reactions. Life is a confusing, dark labyrinth. It is incredibly easy to become completely lost in despair, confusion, and the overwhelming complexity of modern existence. Do not panic when you hit a dead end. Stop. Breathe. Consult your internal compass of Stoic virtue. It will never, ever lead you astray. By following the light of reason and discipline, you will eventually navigate out of the darkness and step into the brilliant, empowering light of total self-mastery. You cannot control the massive, violent waves of the ocean. It is pure arrogance to think you can control the chaotic, unpredictable events of the external world. But you can absolutely learn how to surf. You can learn to ride the chaotic energy of the universe, using its immense power to propel yourself forward. Amor fati. Do not fight the wave. Become one with it. Transform every terrifying obstacle into a magnificent, exhilarating opportunity to display your absolute mastery. Take your failures, your deep regrets, and your most painful, humiliating memories. Throw them all directly into the roaring furnace of your Stoic discipline. Melt down your weakness and forge it into an impenetrable shield of wisdom. Your past pain is the exact raw material required for your future invincibility. You are not defined by the terrible things that have happened to you. You are defined entirely by how brilliantly you forge those experiences into unshakable strength. To grow incredibly high into the sky, thus you must first send your roots terrifyingly deep into the dark, unseen earth. Depth is the prerequisite for massive heights. When the hurricanes of tragedy strike, the shallow men are instantly destroyed. The Stoic, deeply rooted in fundamental principles, barely even sways in the violent wind.